right, I'm hitting the go live button now, but it usually takes about 30 seconds to filter through. All right, we're live. All right, we are live on YouTube. We currently have no comments and no viewers.
Start it, Becky.
Okay, we'll do roll call here. Helen Douglas Taylor,
Present.
John Knowles,
Here.
Ruth Benner,
Present.
Mary Kay O'Neill,
I'm here.
Becky Miller,
Present.
Courtney Olmsted,
Present.
Fran Ventimiglia.
Present.
And at this point, we have Robin Drew and Evelyn Green are not. Oh, wait, here comes Robin Drew.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
And you're here. Okay, so we're just missing Evelyn Green.
I'll reach out to her if we don't hear from her tonight. Okay.
Very good.
Okay, let's get started. There's still no public, is that correct? No public yet, no?
This is bothering me. This is bothering me.
No public.
Okay. Okay. Second line item is the minutes from the June 28th, 2021 meeting.
I move that we accept the minutes of the June 28th meeting as presented.
I second. Oh, who said that? Somebody said
Yeah,
it. Is that-
Fran.
Fran second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay.
The dog is opposed.
Wasn't
Sorry.
mine.
Need to find out what the dog's opposition was to the minutes.
Well. Third line item is the director's report, and Scott, I just want to say it was very, very, very thorough. Thank you.
Yep, this is once a year we do what amounts to an annual report. We do a longer, more detailed director's report that kind of reviews the year and covers some of the details that we don't want to forget over time, but we also don't want to rehash every month. So it is a good report for catching up on the things we don't think about every day.
Right.
It also is the format. The format is left over from my predecessor. That was what Joan's reports looked like every month. So we, decided to shorten it down and just preserve that format for the once a year longer report. So,
No, go ahead.
okay. So the only thing really to add or to note is probably not even worth noting is that the auditor has already moved on to the rough draft that we're reviewing now. And so I'm certain that we'll be ready for the auditor to present at next month's meeting. He's moving right along on that. The other thing to note is I would like to point out a couple of things from the very end of your packet. Let me go ahead and pull it up on the screen. On the revenue and expenses budget versus actual for the year, a couple of things that I think are worth commenting on. It's all COVID messed up a lot of line items, frankly, but let me go ahead and share my screen out. Let's see. That's what I want. Okay. But a couple things worth noting, I'm sorry, I'm going to zip right down to the bottom here, is this right here, service income. Hopefully you can see my little mouse there. Copies and faxes, $10,849 under collected, and printing, $7,534 under collected. Put those together, that's $18,383 under collected because we spent all of last year not charging for faxes, copies, and prints, with a few exceptions. If someone had a gigantic print job, we would charge for it, but generally almost everything's been free. And I thought that was worth noting because if we want to consider, I'm not ready to charge for anything yet. I don't want to charge for anything just yet. I think we're still in the middle of this. But if we, at the end of this, want to reconsider how much we're going to charge or what we're going to charge for, that's the stakes essentially. And if we were to stay like this forever, it would be about $18,000 less per year that we'd be gathering.
That's about what, half a percentage point?
What is that as a percentage point? Let me
Of our
see.
yearly budget, it's about a 0.5%.
Yeah, I got my little thingy here in the way. Just a moment. 3.2%. Yeah, about 3.2% of the budget. If I read that correctly. You can do a little math and be sure, double check it.
Okay.
757,000.
Well,
2.3% of the total budget.
So Scott, are you saying that once we get beyond this, we're not going to try to recoup this, but you're saying we're going to have to think about how we'll be charging for those services when we go back to normal or whatever, or closest to normal?
I'm saying we're not going to recoup anything. We're done. We're not
Right.
going to try and make that back. I'm saying that we have a huge amount of goodwill from not charging, and we have people who are really desperate, who are very thankful for us not charging right now. If we were to consider not charging in the future, we need to keep this number in mind as the cost of that goodwill. Now, I'm not arguing that we should yet. I'm just saying that that's something that I will want to talk about, 6 months from now, whenever we're past the worst of it, we hope. Though I said that a year ago too.
Scott, do you anticipate that that's a pretty accurate number from year to year, or was there perhaps more copies and faxes and stuff made this year due to COVID and people losing jobs, being laid off, and needing to, send in documentation for unemployment or whatever else, that sort of thing? Was there more use of that than there has been in the past, or does this seem to be a pretty accurate number?
That number was derived from Becky doing the math of the previous year's spending. So that was right on trend for what we had expected before COVID. And I would say that we have actually had less, it's hard to say for what you're asking, because we've had a little bit less use of faxes and copies, though the thing is busy all the time. But I can tell you that the use that we're getting is a lot more people asking for like emergency help and that kind of thing. And the use that we're seeing does not account for what we moved to the curbside process, because we really started emphasizing doing things by email and letting people just mail in and then just hand us something. We handed it back to them after we printed it. A lot of activity happened that way, which would not show up on our statistics for the prints and copies. And so I would say we probably are seeing about as much use as we ever have. Just a lot of it's hidden because it happened through email. And that is probably a pretty good estimate as to how much we would have gotten if not for not charging.
If you look at page 9 of the director's report, that we were able to use the copier numbers and say that, yes, we were up from the previous COVID, but still let down from pre-COVID as far as the numbers of copies.
Right. So your raw numbers are there on page 9 for the details. But like I said, it doesn't account for what was handled through email, which is quite a bit.
And don't get me wrong, I think that was a wonderful service you've been providing to the community. I'm really appreciative because I know there's a lot of people in our community that just don't have the technology and stuff at home to be able to do that. And so I'm super grateful to you guys for doing that.
I like the idea of us doing that. I mean, we could only do so much. And if it's a couple of copies here that someone didn't have to worry about reaching in their pocket for, it's one less thing for them to worry about.
Well, I'd like to continue being just like we are right now. And when we think we're coming out of this, then we can talk about whether or not to change, make that a permanent change.
Do
I'm
we,
cool with that.
do we designate the funds for anything? Do we designate, I mean, is that income turned around and
No,
designated?
because we underspent in general over the budget. So we can't say that that money went somewhere else.
Okay, okay.
So Scott, this is Tony. So what I'm looking at is this is good citizenship / goodwill.
Mhm.
Okay. And that's to the tune of like 18 grand, 2% of the budget.
Right, that would have been paid by patrons in nickels and dimes as they made copies and faxes, but we didn't charge them. We made it all free.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
The other thing that I'd like to point out is, right, let's see. Here we go, under programming. So back whenever I first started, I think the budget for programming was $2,000. And we got a ton of donations in 2014 because of our response that year. And as part of that follow on from the board, as they decided what to do with that money, they kind of made a line in the sand or a flag to chase or whatever metaphor you want to use of saying, if we're really going to do what I was talking about doing, which was like really emphasizing programming and making us a much more interactive and responsive library, let's put a big number under programming as a target to reach for. And they put in $25,000. And every year we've kept that $25,000, and every year we've kind of moved a little closer and a little closer and a little closer. And this is the first year that we've actually spent the $25,000, meaning that we have kind of achieved a goal in programming. And I just want to say I'm pretty proud that we are doing that much for the community. It's a little higher than it would have otherwise been because so much of that programming is in the form of take-home craft kits, because that's what was needed this year. But I just wanted to make a notation that that huzzah to the programming librarians for kind of filling the space that we gave them, so to speak.
Again, I'm making notes on that. Even without the kits for the programming that you're putting out, I would think that that would stay at that same amount,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
for next year.
The current the new budget also has that amount.
Great. Okay.
Yep. All right, so those are the things that I wanted to point out. Does anyone have any questions or any comments they want to have?
Regarding the director's report. Anything?
Go back up to the beginning of my report here. There. All right, that's all I had.
Any questions? Additional questions, anybody? Was looking through my red. That's That's a no. Okay.
Moving to the treasurer's part.
Treasurer's report.
Yeah, that's me. I did have a chance to review the June QuickBooks, including the bank reconciliations, and everything looked really fine. So thank you.
Any old business? Don't think so. None. New business, line item 6, new business. 6.1 was financial,
I've got none.
right? Building maintenance, none.
I have a question just on the building maintenance thing. Are they going to put trees back on the little space, or did we end up deciding against that? I know we took them out because I think they were Bradford pears and we're going to split or something.
I'm sorry, I got to plug in because I'm losing my juice.
Yes, the plan is to replace those trees. It's just taking a while to get, we're waiting for the public works to grind down the stumps, and then we can get the new trees and put them in.
All of a sudden I got this vision of Relief, Missouri coming in and getting a couple of nice, nice shade trees through there.
Yeah,
Something
we're
they
working
hire.
with Relief. We're working with Relief to figure out what to get, and we'll get them for free if we can. If not, then we'll pay for them.
We'll get black walnut. That way when we can trim off the branches, I can carve spoons out of them.
I'm not really into gardening. Is there a certain time of year we have to plant, or can you do trees any time of year?
We've got a pretty long window. Don't have to worry about it. As long as we can get them planted by mid-fall, we're good. They just have to be able to be in there long enough to grab the ground before freezing comes.
We got a thank you card from Kathy Ben Boydell. If there's any way that I can make sure this appears full size on everybody's screen. This is the outside of it.
Let me undo real quick, John. All right, I took off the sharing and now.
This, if I hold it like that, everybody sees it full?
Yep.
And then I'll go ahead and read it. Warm and special thanks to you for all the considerate things you do. And Kathy wrote, thank you so much for the dinner and the flowers. I will miss you all on fourth Mondays. Kathy Ben Boydell.
Thank you.
Very good.
Okay. Under general comments, concerns, issues,
I have nothing.
nothing? Okay.
Helen, I'd like to share a quick picture.
Okay.
Scott, can I just share? Let me see if I can pull it. Let me see. No, you're gonna have to enable participant sharing so I can share this because I'd like the board to see this.
Okay, I think I just did. Try it again.
Let me try it again. Yeah. Here it is. Okay. All right. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Picture of balcony.
That is an apartment garden that came from the little cups of seeds we gave away. Yeah. So, and this young lady is just somebody that I mentor, and this is her apartment, and she went by and got the seeds, and this has been her garden this summer, and she's had, and I was trying to find, she actually sent me some of the harvest, and I told her the next board meeting I wanted to share this with the board. I guess what I want us to realize, and I know I'm preaching to the choir on this one, is the things that we do impact people's lives. I mean, we are definitely in a food desert in Ferguson. I know we shouldn't. And some of us with our nice, expanses of lawns and gardens and stuff, we don't think about it. But there are so many people who don't get a chance to have this. And actually after her, she's got about 3 or 4 young ladies that are friends of hers. They've committed to doing the same thing next year. And this can be the difference. She's got 2 growing boys. She's a single mom. And this is fresh fruit from her it's a little deck outside of her apartment. So I just want us to know that, number one, when I know I beat a dead horse all the time by saying, how many people know we do this? How do we get the word out? And all of a sudden, it does make an impact. And so I just wanted to share, well, Scott, and for you to, I'll send you a copy for you to share with the staff there, but for us as a board to know that the things that we do definitely makes a difference in people's lives. So that's it. I'll stop sharing it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Robin.
I'll
How are
point
you
that out to staff.
recovering, by the way?
Oh, well, I'm back running, so I'm good.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
I need to come and run with you. I probably can't keep up, but I'm going to try. Okay, Councilwoman Burrow, you have anything for us?
Good evening. Yes, I do. Kudos to you for this fabulous yearly report. It rivals any final report that I've seen. So kudos to you for that. The other thing is, Robin, I really do appreciate you sharing the impactfulness of the gardening. My mother was a master gardener, so she used to say all the time, give a person their flowers while they're living. And during this time right here, when so many people need this, the inclusiveness and her bringing on some extra, kudos to you for that. And I've been saying for a long time, the library has been the breath of my life, so I appreciate it. The thing I want to share mostly is that there's going to be a town hall meeting tomorrow at 7 p.m., not to be confused with the city council meeting. This is a town hall that 2 senators, state senators, are putting on at UMSL tomorrow evening. And it is really a town hall on economical development. And what they're proposing is to use the stimulus money package to bring businesses into cities in North St. Louis County. I expect for it to be a very interesting town hall. I've spoken with the senators about it already, and they're going to record it. It will be live streamed. So if you miss it from being at maybe the council meeting, or there are a couple of other meetings in town tomorrow. So I would encourage you to even look at that later, because this is something that is going to be coming from Jefferson City. It's going to be heavily involved with the stimulus care package. So the more you know about it and the sooner you know about it, the better. That's going to be at UMSL, and it's on the Ward, W-A-R-D, Ward E. Bowens building. That's where it is. 2993 the South Drive up there in Normandy. So if you can make it, I would encourage you to get involved with this. That's what I have for this evening.
Anything else? Anybody? Okay, well, this is it. I was so getting used to seeing you all in person, so I'm a little like.
Yeah, I was a little disheartened when I found out that we weren't going to join together.
Scott, I have a quick question for you. I didn't know when to ask it because I didn't know if it was considered old business or new business, but is everything staying the same in terms of number of hours and people being able to come into the building and all of that?
As of right now, yes. The full-timers and I are meeting more often. Like we meet tomorrow to look at the numbers and see if we need to do anything. So right now we're still at 1 hour maximum per day, capacity of 18 patrons, though at this point we don't meet that, and our normal hours.
This is Tony. right now, as far as Page is concerned, it's masks being worn in all public buildings.
Mhm.
We did have allowed tonight for the CRB, which is the next meeting I'm supposed to be in on fourth Monday. We are doing a closed session in person. So earlier last week, we talked about we were shutting down all face-to-face, but that didn't materialize from out of Dr. Page's office. He will be letting us know today. I found out he will be letting us know on Friday if anything changes other than full mask in public buildings. We do anticipate, I look to know now, having a face-to-face as of 1 o'clock today when I checked. We were still going to have the meeting for the council meeting tomorrow in person. So, but you have to stick by your phones or however you get your messages to find out if that's really going to go. Because Paige is looking at it day by day, hour by hour.
Right.
Okay. And we didn't hear anything from the governor today regarding this. So I'm checking it day and night to see what we have. And what I'll do, Scott, I'll send you something if I get it. I asked Dave Musgrave to send you a note today if anything changed. So I'm taking it didn't because he got back to me at 4. So we hadn't gotten any change. But you'll be one of the first people to know, Scott, if something changes. I got you on the list.
Thank you. All right, well, this
A
ain't
motion to
quite,
adjourn?
what'd you say, John?
A motion to adjourn?
Oh, okay, go for it. You want to make a motion to adjourn?
Certainly,
Huh?
certainly,
Okay. You made a motion?
yes.
Okay, I second. Any opposed? Okay, there's no,
Good night,
see
everybody.
you guys next month.
Don,
I'll
are you
see
going
all
back to work?
tomorrow.
Huh?
Are you going back to work?
I was back today. Didn't you
Well,
notice?
I
do
know, but I
stuff?
meant like after our meeting. Do you have to do more tonight or are you going home?
No, I'm going home, going to bed. I worked 11 and a half hours today.
I believe it.
I'm too old to work 11 and a half hours.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
Go rest.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.